But what I'm always very fond of is I think the Uber map is a psychological moonshot. And it's based, I mean, the story, which may or may not be true, is that one of the founders of Uber was inspired by watching Goldfinger. And when he saw Bond effectively following Goldfinger using a tracking device, there was a scrolling map in the dashboard of the DB4 which showed him where Goldfinger's car was so he could trail it while remaining out of sight. What was extraordinary about that was that it was based on a very clever insight into human psychology, which most of us ourselves aren't really aware of, which is we would say, and we'd confidently say we believe, that I hate it when a taxi takes a long time to turn up. I like it when a taxi turns up quickly. So a rational person or an engineer would react to that by saying what we need is a predictive algorithm so that taxis tend to be available in areas where we predict heavy demand so that we can service customers more quickly. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. It may be a very worthwhile thing to do, although it's worth saying that it requires quite a lot of scale in order to achieve that. But the real insight with the map is that deep down, somewhere in the amygdala, what bothers us about waiting for a taxi isn't actually the duration, it's the degree of uncertainty. In other words, is he here yet? Maybe he's parked round the corner. Oh, what if he can't find the house? Maybe he's already left. Was the person on the phone lying? And so that period between booking a taxi and waiting for it to arrive was one of general high stress. Now, what's interesting is you could reduce that stress, I admit, by getting the taxi to turn up very quickly, or at least you'd reduce the period of stress, but the stress would still remain. On the other hand, if you have a map which shows you where the taxi is, you're basically relaxed, okay? Instead of going, oh my God, where is he? I'm sure, maybe he's already left. I'd better go and stand out in the rain so he doesn't miss me or get impatient. You just look at the map and you go, oh look, he's stuck at those traffic lights. I'll have another pint. Okay, now what's interesting is that the quantity of waiting is the same with or without a map. In pure quantitative measured SI unit terms of time and duration, no difference. The quality of the waiting is totally transformed.